Somewhere in Nepal, the Victoria Pearls need 17 runs from 18 balls to win their third T20 international against Nepal. They're supposed to be playing 5, meaning if they win today, they would have won the series, or they would be leading the series 3-0 with only 2 games to go. Good afternoon, Clive Chaze is my name, and this is the Sports Dish. Cricket always takes a big chunk of our show, but today we shall be doing it a little bit different because we shall be discussing, dissecting the game of netball in Uganda. You can be part of the show via Twitter. The hashtag is at the bottom of your screen, but also the number you're seeing at the bottom of your screen is our WhatsApp number. WhatsApp us, give your views, ask your questions, because in the house we do have the president of the Uganda Netball Federation. That's Honorable Babirye Chitio. For the second day running, I won't be doing this alone, but the team is slightly depleted because Mr. Emanzi Yamhachi is airport bound because he will be traveling to Tunisia, where he will be covering the Africa Volleyball Women Club Championships. And the Elites will be representing Uganda, and Emanzi will be getting us first-hand information. But I'm in good company of a man who doesn't own a passport because they can't travel out of the country.
Why would they die on one?
Shaban, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Clive. And actually, we currently need 17 runs from 25 balls.
The Victoria Pearls are taking your mind.
Yeah, Ritam Samal is currently batting, but it looks like we'll get home and dry. But to put the record straight, I own a passport, and an East African passport, for your information. But good afternoon, everyone watching us. Good afternoon, Clive. And should I say good afternoon? Okay, I would say good afternoon to our guest later.
Maybe our guest could wave to us a little bit so that the viewers can get to know that she's in studio. Thank you very much for joining us, and good afternoon. In a few, we shall be with you, Shaban. Something you just hinted about, the Victoria Pearls, 15 runs they need from 24 balls. Currently, Kevin Awino has scored 37 of 47 balls, but looks like this one is already in the bag. They've already won 2 internationals. If they win this one, that's the third with 2 games to go. And without a doubt, Uganda's ranking in the T20 World rankings is definitely going to improve.
I think something we needed, especially after that humbling in Namibia, where we lost to both Zimbabwe and Namibia miserably. So we wanted to go out there, improve our ranking by getting a few points from Nepal, and it looks like we're going to do it because if we win today, that means we will be leading 3-0 in the best of 5 series. Definitely, that is a wrap. But of course, in cricket, you have to complete the games you are playing. It is good for us because the girls go to Nepal, and we're thinking that probably they would struggle for the first time going to Asia, and we all know that they have not been competitive.
But I need to know, Dennis Musari, you're watching the show, Dennis Musari needs to put a few things in perspective. Which Nepal are we playing against? Because I think the first game we were playing, the game was going on, and in between the game, they were interviewing one of the players who is a national team player. So which Nepal exactly, who was not playing? So which Nepal are we exactly? Actually, they were interviewing the captain. So which Nepal exactly are we playing against? Because the wins have been so smooth for the Victoria Pearls.
I think everyone who has been following the game, when you go to the YouTube, the comments, it seems that some of the players were picked as we're not the players who are supposed to be playing, and they're already calling for the coach to resign. But all in all, we beat Nepal.
Exactly, doesn't matter.
I don't care because it improves our ranking points, and I think it is good. It's a good test for the girls, although it may not be proper if we start questioning the players that have been.
We are beating Nepal,
but we are beating Nepal. That is the bottom line, and it's good for us, especially after that.
I remember there's a time we hosted African qualifiers for the game of volleyball. So Egypt, Kenya were in Uganda here, and Egypt didn't. In the next round, the winner of our group would play against Tunisia in the next round. So Egypt didn't want to play against Tunisia, and they were playing Uganda in their last group game. Do you know what they did? They altered players in their different positions. In volleyball, if you're a master at a particular position and you're told to play elsewhere, and you struggle. So they kept on altering the players in the different positions, and we beat Egypt 3-0, or we beat them 3 straight, and we are very happy that we are beaten Egypt. In the post-match press conference, that is when their coach revealed that actually they lost the game today because they didn't want to play Tunisia in the next round. I felt bad because I thought...
Of course you would feel bad because anytime you come up with a side that you think is bigger than you, you want to put up your best effort. And when you realize that probably they are not trying to win as much as you are trying, of course you have to be disappointed. But like you said, we are beating up on Nepal.
We are beating up on Nepal, and as we speak at the moment, Uganda needs 8 runs from 20 balls. So surely it is a win number 3 for Uganda. But also briefly, that's as we get to our main topic of the day. Bull Football Club yesterday defeated Boma Football Club 1-0 to qualify for the finals of the Stanbic Uganda Cup, 6-1 on aggregate, meaning that the final is set. Viper Sports Club for the 2nd year running will be playing against Bull in the final.
I think not as easy as we all thought it would be. Boma put up a decent fight yesterday, and I think they will be ruining what happened at their home ground, because they only lost by an odd goal, which was scored by, I think, the current Uganda Cup top scorer, that is Karim Dugwa. But we all thought that Bull will eventually go through, and now it's a repeat of last year's final, which you expect would be a little bit more competitive and
compared to last year.
And I think it's going to be played on a Sunday, which is ironic because I thought... In Masindi, because I thought people traveling from Kampala would have loved to go watch it on Saturday and then prepare for traveling back to
No,
Kampala.
the tentative dates are 11th and 12th of June. So I'm thinking they're yet to decide.
I picked up on a conversation in one of the FUFA competitions groups, and the competitions, our competitions manager was saying that because there are some technicalities, I think the national team and stuff like that, that is why it was pushed on a Sunday. So chances are high it's going to be pushed on a Sunday, but what I expect is Bull is going to put up a
technicalities. Are you trying to tell me that the national team might have a regional tour in Masindi and it is played on a Saturday? And anyway, we'll just need to
I can't contextualize it at the moment, but there are a few issues and reasons as to why it would be played on a Sunday, and she was trying to explain that. But if they could adjust, it would be good for us, because it's not easy to go and travel to Masindi and then watch a game on Sunday and you have to come back on Monday for work. It's not going to be easy.
Well, thank you very much. We dive straight into our main topic of the day, which is the game of netball, because I should have been a few months ago, yes, we did have a smooth transition of power in the sport of netball, where one camp had a candidate on each and every position that was to be elected upon, and guess what? They won all those positions, what you would call a peaceful coup in one sense. And of course, that camp was spearheaded or led by its current president, Sarah Babiri HTO, who has tried together with the executive their level best to change the status quo of the game of netball. We have her on the show today, and of course we shall be trying to put a few things in perspective, and she'll be sharing with us if they are meeting their targets, if by the time they took over office where they are now is where they thought they would be. And good afternoon, Honorable. Do we say honorable or president? Which one works better?
Even if you call me Sarah, good afternoon to you.
We'll probably stick to president, though he had been honorable long enough. But the sport of netball, together with your team, you came in, you took over the administration of the sport a few months down the road. How would you describe the transition? Has it been a smooth ride or a little bit bumpy?
It's not been easy. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity and thank you for thinking about netball and for loving us. And thanks for the invitation, and thank you for this time. There's a lot happening in netball, and a lot of great things are happening, and we are grateful to go to our fans, to the players, and to everyone, to the media fraternity, and to everyone. So the question you asked, whether it is a smooth or... It's not an easy road, though. It's not. But we are grateful to go that we haven't failed in any way. Whatever we planned to achieve in a particular period of time, so far so good. Yeah.
What were some of the immediate goals that you've been able to achieve before we probably look at the long-term goals?
One was professionalize the game. For instance, we agreed, actually when we were during the campaigns, we told people we need to professionalize the game. We need to fix those issues that we think are not going right. One, we are able to, and proudly to inform the public that we now have a CEO and a full operational secretariat. We have a work plan that we did not find in place. We have a number of policies like the financial policy, the membership policy. We have a number of them. We didn't have them. It was a very big challenge. Imagine when you're running a league and someone is supposed to pay some, let's say, money for licenses or something, and is bringing them on court. There is no receipt, there is no proper track record of all the finances that come in the federation and how they are spent and all that. Those are some of the issues we are looking at. And netball, it is a blessing. This could be, by the way, a very big secret as into why netball in Uganda has been here for so long, though we've been looking and focusing at the national team. But netball mostly has been a game of teachers. I'll give you an example. The time we came in the office, I was the only person, I think, with Brigadier General Vyokwaso, who are not teachers.
Because probably it is mainly played in schools.
Yes, so that's why I told you that it's been a blessing, and this could be the reason as into why it's been played for so long, though mismanaged somehow, because the people in leadership, they didn't give it all the time, because they were also teachers elsewhere. They had government. They had
commitments elsewhere.
They had commitments all over. So it would really be hard for them. And during holidays, maybe the time would think they could put in their whole, children are gone, they are back in their homes, and also parents need them for other works. So somehow we agreed that let us fix the federation, we make it a national office, we have structures in every district, we have structures at the regional level, we bring on board different stakeholders, we nurture the game right from pre-primary up to the national level. We shouldn't be focusing at she cranes alone. And it's now a trend or a condition for any sport to qualify for Olympic Games. You must be serving both genders, male and female. So we now have male netball, and we have a male national team, the Rock, and we are having other junior teams for both male and female. So we have achieved a lot. Just like I told you, we have now a full flow for the offices. We have different departments, and people are there full time every day. Only weekends members don't come. But sometimes when we are overwhelmed and we are having a lot of engagements, even weekends you can't find our offices locked.
Yeah, maybe before Shaban comes in, you talked about getting a CEO, and by that I would assume he's a full-time employee of the Uganda Netball Federation.
Yes.
What are his KPIs? What are the key performance indicators for this CEO?
There are a number of them. I may not say everything here, but one is to manage, to monitor and supervise those other staff members. For instance, marketing. Who are in charge of marketing? What are their roles? What do we expect? To make sure they give us reports on a weekly basis. This week, what are we planning to do? Did we achieve it? Before we leave offices Friday evening, we check into each and everything. I may not be, as a president, I may not get everything, but every departmental head will look at how much they had on their docket, how much they have achieved. Then after every quarter, we have that meeting to analyze which goals did we have for a quarter, and how much have we achieved, how much have we failed, and why? How do we fix whatever we have failed?
Honorable, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm calling you Honorable again, because that is what I'm used to. But you mentioned the fact that one of the challenges was setting up a proper administration. But what are the other few challenges that you have faced since you came into power?
A number of them. For instance, the issue of funding. Normally, people used to think government funds sports agencies, and every quarter they are allocated this much amount. Maybe they are paying rent for them. Maybe they meet them to mitigate and plan how to secure homes and all that. Maybe there are those coaches that are paid by the nation, for instance, the national team coaches and all that. But when we came in the office, we realized, apart from that tickets and maybe accommodation and meals that they give to a federation when it is traveling out, there's nothing else. So the best option was to look for a team, an able team that will run on daily basis to look for funders. And guess what? In few months, we have been able to secure at least a sponsor who is DSTV. And Wednesday next week, we are praying and our hands are closed. We may surprise Ugandans with another good news. And maybe before the year ends, we might be having another.
Honorable, Ugandans were already surprised on this show, but we shall wait for official communication.
Honorable.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Yeah.
I remember I think I should say a few months ago, the game of netball came into a spotlight, but somehow you guys tried your level best to keep everything that was happening under the radar. But to put the record straight, what happened that led to the inactivity at the Federation?
Just like I told you, we had a manifesto when we were coming and when we were campaigning. And there were 12. We had a 12-point program. We promised people to professionalize their game. We promised them to secure a home. We promised them a number of things to maintain the performance or better it, never to go low. So we made some promises to these Ugandans. And also to take the game back to the grassroots, to recruit Ugandans to come and support, because you wonder why we would be having a world star like Peace Proscovia. And if you walk on streets of Kampala, people do not even know her. Very few. And yet most of us went through schools that play netball. So to me, netball would be a big brand in Uganda. Netball would be, a netballer would be a big person. But given the fact that we've been going to World Cup and Commonwealth Games and we've been giving Uganda a good name. So we came up with that kind of work plan. So when we reached in the offices, it was somehow a different story. We agreed that we shall have a fully fledged secretariat. When we started working on that, some colleagues of ours felt like we are trying to replace them. Someone would say, now I'm the general secretary. When you bring a CEO, what will be my role anymore? You know, so it was more of my role, not how the organization benefits. So we told them, but you are a GESCS, but you are a teacher, a deputy head teacher, you are on a government payroll, you're expected to be in that school from Monday to Friday. So when are you going to serve the federation? Would you want people to keep on coming here and the office is closed and all that? Who is going to sensitize the public of all these policies that we are making? Who is supposed to educate all these players that are coming up? We can't be having a national team with no database. We know you're a national team player. We can't tell your age.
So, Honorable, what you're actually also trying to tell us that there has been a challenge of mindset change to help
a lot.
To change
Actually,
mindset.
that was the major problem. People wanted to see things the way they were. They would even sometimes say, but the past president did this. At the regime of so and so, this happened. At this, so I used to tell them they did not have any manifesto to give to the public. We even launched it. It is even on YouTube. So what are we going to tell people after 4 years? Allow us to stick by our promises. Let us do the right things. So that called for an AGM and for the constitutional amendment. Of course, we had a review commission led by different people, not the president. And they went around these districts. They talked to the delegates. They agreed. Some people were bringing proposals that we felt they were too much. So we took everything to the AGM, was discussed, and changes were made.
Honorable, I think you're trying to beat around my question. What really led to that injunction that stopped the activities at UNF?
What led to the activity to the UNF?
Yes, and how were you
like halting the activities at UNF? What exactly led to that, and how did you overcome that?
Just I told you there were misunderstandings, and I was trying to give you the cause and the genesis of the misunderstandings. Because of the mindset, I mean, because of where people thought things were going to be run, When we try to bring this change that we had promised people earlier, some people are not ready for that change. To them, it was more of pushing them out of the federation. And they started saying everything and all that and everything. So of course, this came with a number of other conflicts. Some people started looking for godfathers who would come maybe and bully the president and tell her, you shouldn't make these changes, this is this, you should. Some people went to court and they tried to put an injunction such that the AGM is not held to come up with all these changes. Which changes actually? We feel they are changes for better. Not because I can't be a president of the Uganda Netball Federation for life. Just like other past presidents came and left. I'm also here to serve and leave a legacy. So I'm not like I'm here to live forever, but I think that we should stick by what we promised the people during the campaigns. Because after a year, each time we go for AGM, people will ask, what was your plan? How far? Just like I told you, we said we need to give our players visibility. They should be appreciated. We need to award excellency. All this is in our manifesto. That's why we held such a dinner. When will you ever know this is this and this is a great player? Or how do you motivate your players? If they just play, they sweat, and you separate as if you're wrestlers. So these are some of the causes. Of course, there are other. I may not say everything right here, but that was the genesis. And whatever happened later, they used that as a trigger. So people started telling, you see, the president doesn't like you. She's even trying to push you out of the office. So you see, if you ally with me, things will get better. And I can assure you I'll do ABCD and all that. But also issues to do with transparency. Yeah, when it comes to finances, it's tricky, you know it.
Well, the question at the bottom of our screen is already triggering debates. When they say, is netball the biggest sport in Uganda? Godwin Frank in Wankulukuku, you're saying, please, netball with 3 question marks. Then you say, not big enough even to line up in front of boxing, but our girls are naturally netballers, and they are naturally better than South Africa and England, who are their superiors. With proper funding from the government and the president of the Uganda Netball Federation, they can become #1 in the world. Wow. Currently, Uganda is #6 in the world and #3 on the African continent. 3-time African champions, been at the World Cup 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, more than any other national team. The teams, or should we say the clubs, are very dominant in the region. Nick Netball Club are 18-time champions of East Africa. That's a record. But also, not only Nick, but every time you have these regional competitions, Uganda clubs are very dominant. The last one we hosted in Commonwealth is very visible. 4 teams in the semi-finals, 3 of those are Ugandan clubs. So you feel with that probably portfolio, they deserve to be probably described as not maybe one, but one of the #1 sports in the world. I mean, how many sports in Africa at the moment we have that are ranked #3 in Africa and #6 in the world?
We are ranked #2, not #3.
I beg your pardon?
We are ranked #2 in Africa.
Thank you very much. Second in Africa, #6 in the world.
And I think I know where the argument comes in, and why he's saying that he doubts that it's a #1 sport. And when you listen to Sarah speak, she tells you the fact that they want to professionalize the game. Maybe they look at the game and they see it as an amateur setting in the country. And yes, we have managed to achieve, but we all know that there's still a lot to be done. And like she mentioned that you could move around the street and find, I think, 20 people on a trot who don't know who Peace Proscovia is. So you can see where it's coming from. But definitely, when you look at what they have achieved, like in terms of netball achievement in Uganda, and you compare it with other sports, especially not considering the individual sports, I think we have to argue that they are one of the best. It is one of the best sports in the country, and we need a few touches, like you mentioned, professionalizing the game, and maybe keeping on throwing it out there to the public, so as they can embrace it the way they're supposed to be embracing it.
Yes, before we go out for the breather, Honorable, talking about professionalizing the game or the sports at federation level, you're trying your level best to do that.
Thank you.
how has it been by trying to enforce this at club level? Because you need that touch of professionalism at club level if the game is to grow domestically here in the country.
Just like I told you earlier, maybe to take you back a little, someone was saying that netball, no, it's not one of those dominant games. By the way, netball is a very, very dominant game. Only that it's been so unlucky. It lacked leadership. This is one thing. I just want to give you and challenge this country and challenge, and I've shared this with my honorable brother, Honorable Minister Obua. 137 countries play netball in the world. Even if Uganda chose to host, now that World Cup is coming to Africa, and that is South Africa, even if the sector of tourism chose to host the World Netball Conference in Uganda, even if they invited only 3 delegates, the president, the general secretary of national council of that country, and maybe the chairperson, or even a captain of their national team, you don't know how much money Uganda would make in that 1 week or 2. Because netball can also be used to address the issues to do with a girl child. Because it is dominantly a girl child sport. The challenge is that our leaders, most of the leaders, just come in netball for just. They have somehow failed to professionalize the game. But we are writing this to all our bosses at the World Netball level, at the African Netball. We are sure very soon the image of this whole sport will change. Because netball is a game that can touch the lives. The few months I'll just give you an example. The few months we've been in the federation, we've secured over 60 scholarships, full scholarships for the girl children. Over 20 scholarships for the boy children. So what if we did that and we organized it best and we took this up to the village level in every district and we talked to the sports officers, to the DEOs, to the inspector of schools, how many girl children could we save and we secure a future for them through netball? So it is a very, very big venture, only that people don't look at it. But just the question you asked, we are doing all it takes. And before our league opens, we have written to all the clubs. We need to know the club leadership. They should be having a home ground, as in a court, to train, to play from. We are tired of this league of Nachivubo and during the last league we've tried to reach Mbale. We've been in Masaka. We went to Mbarara. We went to Mitiana. We've been in different areas, but this very one we need to organize it better, and Ugandans will see a very big difference.
Madam President, you mentioned the fact that you love for every team in probably the top tier to have a home ground, but in a country where we are deprived of facilities, especially when it comes to sports, how viable do you think that is in the game, in the sport of netball?
Honorable, please pause it right there. Let's go out for a break. When we return, that's where we'll be starting with our conversation. We'll be back after these messages.
CTV is now on StarTimes. You can now catch all your favorite programs, our daily comprehensive news bulletins, and so much more on StarTimes channel number 248. Stay tuned for a world of endless possibilities. CTV. Don't blink.
The Islamic University of Uganda Females Campus Kaboja etegese oludduka lwebatumye Run for Girl Education olugendo kubera okusana nga 22 May 2022 okutandika ku ssaawa emu paka ssaawa mukaaga ez'omutuntu abaddusi bakudduka kilomita zimwenda zokka. Sente zinaava mu ludduka luno zijja kuyamba bawala 352 abatasobodde kumalako campus, era nga kiti egula emitwalo 5 ya platinum, mitwalo 3 gold, silver mitwalo 2, era nga zitundibwa King Fahad Plaza ground floor, Kampala campus, Mbale campus ne Arua Netball Campus okumanya ebisingawo ku besimu 0704 musanvu nyemu 369 oba 0776 360 emu 70 oluduga lwa Run for Girl Education luteereddwa mu Sente Polo Freight Forwarders Wachiso Giants Hillwater Fati Flair Makeup ne Carib Support Uganda.
Wamunne CTV. Don't blink. Since 1963, this shirt has united fans and players across the country. It is more than just an article of clothing. It is a sense of pride for us as we catch the kinetic action. In the heat of the competition, we stand with our champions. This shirt brings us together. CTV becomes the principal shirt partner for KCCA FC. We are committed to the game, to bridge the gap and bring you closer to the awesome team you love. KCCA FC, more than just a club. CTV, don't blink.
Yes, you're still watching the Sports Dish. We come your way every Monday to Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. We discuss nothing but what's happening in the world of sports. Thursday is a little bit different. We get to find that topic, exhaust it, dissect it, and all that. To get experts in here to make sure that we get to the bottom of it. And joining us today is the president of the Uganda Netball Federation, Asara Bavidye Chitio. And before we went out for the breather, President Shabani, I had a question for you, something to do with spreading the game, especially at league level, where maybe every team has its own home ground and all that. And the question was, how viable is this?
It's very, very viable because we are affiliated with 146 districts, and I don't believe in Uganda there is any district that cannot afford having a netball court, because a netball court is not as big as a football court. It is really small, and that facility may be used by basketball, by volleyball, netball, and all these indoor games. Not only, it may not even be indoor, it may be an outdoor court. So it is really viable, but the challenge is the attitude. I'll give you an example of KCCA. I've just been seeing the adverts. KCCA, they have a team for football. They also have a netball team. The leadership, they are all, in Uganda we call them Banabameya.
Stoof.
But the football team is well facilitated. And the netball team is just the opposite. So why? Because football is, they need maybe 20, are they 24 or 25 players? And netball, a team they are supposed to be only 12. Half of the other people. When it comes to the facilities, it's still the half. But because maybe there is male dominance in everything in the world, that's why netball is a by the way.
No.
It's a by the way. So it's all about it's an attitude. I think my humble appeal to the public would be that girl children are equally as important as male children. That's why in netball, we treasure the two.
But,
though netball, I know someone will say also girls play football, yes, but still dominantly football is a male sport. Just like dominantly netball is a female sport. So all we need to do is to tell our people, there is a lot that we can do and achieve if how many girls can afford even to play football? So to me, I think most girls would be comfortable in netball. Can we give them what they deserve? Can we give them the best? So as we talk, Masaka City, they have given us land. Masaka local government have given us land. Uganda have given us land. We have over 37 districts and few cities that have given us land, but we need money to develop it. We may not have the money as a federation, but that means we shall look for time. go to those very areas, look for their investors, look for stakeholders, look for friends and funds, and we find a way of developing a court, at least for those districts, for them at least to manage their district leagues. Because we are coming up with a President's Shield. This is a tournament that is going to be played in every district, trying to identify talents of every age category. We are coming up with academies for netball. These are some of the things we have been working at all these months, and very soon we shall be informing the public how to register an academy. I mean, we shall be having a syllabus for that academy, for the beginners, how do this and all that. We've achieved a lot. We've been training umpires and coaches, and of recent, just last week, we had, last week but one, before the East Africa Club Championship, that week before, we had a training for umpire level C Africa. And the Ugandan participants, of course, participants came from different countries. Ugandan participants were 18 and 14 made it. Now we can no longer cry that we are going for Africa Championships and we don't have umpires, just like it was last year in Namibia. Uganda is playing with South Africa. All the two umpires are South Africans. All the officials on the bench, I mean, psychologically you'll be beaten already before you even play. So we think we can achieve this because the land we need for a netball court is not so big. It is really, really achievable. Even in a slum area, if you look at the facility we used during the East Africa Club.
In Kamocha.
In Kamocha. So if someone can put such a facility in Kamocha and it accommodates so many people, then that is a clear indication that with netball, anywhere you can survive.
And by the way, the facility in Kamocha, according to reports from the NGO that put it up, it cost 2 billion Ugandan shillings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So if every financial year this country or government had an interest in sports, and if they put aside 2 billion Ugandan shillings to have such a facility in different regions of the country, because it does not only accommodate netball, but it accommodates all these other disciplines.
But it is not even half an acre.
Exactly, it's not even half an acre, but it's a facility that at least meets the bare minimum standards, the washroom, the changing rooms, and all that. But so you did mention something to do with image, and this is Gombe Samson watching the show from Luwero, and he's saying the president and her federation have a lot of work on their hands to change, first of all, the image of the federation, but also the mindset of the public, because for so long, netball has been described as a local sport. Yeah.
I think he's right, and I agree and take up that responsibility and promise him that we are doing that. We are going to do it until these Ugandans and the entire world will get to know that actually netball is not a local, it's both a local and international sport, because there are so many people who have achieved and made it in life because of netball. Some of them are bankers, but they went to school because of netball. So all we need to do is to professionalize the game. Can we have the accountants? Can we have our books of account, audited and all that? Can we have our players profiled? We know Sarah joined netball at the age of 5. This is her history. These are her videos. These are the tournaments she has performed in. This is her best performance and all that. There's a time we traveled to Namibia. And even when we traveled to South Africa, some few friends would ask me, how old is so-and-so? I would not want to mention it. But actually, I didn't find any file talking of their age or of their record of how long they have been playing and all that. So we need to do that actually. If our girls have been able to shine this far, even when they are not told and they do not know what to eat, what to drink, how much time to rest, if they are not treated like professionals, but they are able to hammer and humble every giant team. I was shocked. We went to Namibia without any professional player. We took our local players. Peace wasn't there, and Nuba. South Africa brought all their squad. Namibia brought all their players. All these teams, Malawi, they brought all their professional players. And believe me, we humbled most of these teams. So that was a clear indication that if we did something right, we tap talent at a tender age, we nurture it, we train them properly, we tell them what to eat and what not to eat, what time to rest, how much time they need how many hours must you train a day. We just need to tell them what to do. You will not believe it. If you look at what Peace Proscovia can exhibit at her age, that will tell you what our girls are capable of doing.
And then still talking professionalism, because when you look at the arena in Kamwokya, yes, it is decent to our standards, but how desperate do we need something a little bit probably better than the one we have in Kamwokya, so as to continue progressing in the world of netball?
We desperately, just like I told you that we need to me as a president, I look at talents, I look at performance, but I also look at other aspects. What are our challenges? Finances. How do we tap in money? We are having a fundraising dinner on the 24th of June, and the purpose of this dinner is to secure a home for the girl child sport. Of recent, we had a tournament in Old Kampala for under 12. Some children came from Barara. They played up to the regional level, so the 5 regions now were coming at the national to compete. When I talk of under 12, some of these girls were 9 years. I met them in the boardroom, sucking their fingers. I was like, really? What are we supposed to do with these girls? We don't have potties here, so how are we going to manage them? The girls looked so innocent and very, very green. I was shocked when these girls went on court. You need to find for us some time we come here and bring all these videos for the public to view them. They were playing like real professionals. They had all the rules. They were very, very much knowledgeable. Like you can't keep a ball for more than 3 seconds.
And they knew this?
They were super. Somebody looked at them and she was crying, tears of joy. She was saying, Sarah, is this in Uganda? You know? We have a lot of talent. All we need to do is to organize it, help them. If we had a home, we are looking at a home where we can have at least 150 rooms, accommodation, where we can bring different age groups every single month. They play each other. We bring the world to. For instance, if someone wanted, just like I was telling you, in Namibia, and some people were asking me about these players, and they wanted to take some. Some people were telling me, do you have videos of these people? Do you have their videos like for 2 years ago? If we had a home and we have a good studio where we record all the games of all these children, we document them, we keep their records, we bring them we give them enough time to play enough games because it is important for any athlete. We bring them, they have all these games, we document them. Believe me, we give them the exposure, the experience. By the time they say we are going for Africa qualifiers or for Africa tournament under 13, under 15, we will take the World Cup.
Well, President, let's try to take a slightly different direction because today morning, the head coach of the She Cranes, that's Fred Mugerwa, announced a squad that is supposed to start preparations for the Commonwealth Games. Of course, a few professionals in there, but predominantly locally based players. What is the plan to prepare this team so that it can adequately represent the country well at the Commonwealth Games?
Thank you. You know,
Madam President, sorry to interrupt you, but I think you should add the fact that he mentioned somewhere that due to the finances, this is what they were supposed to come up with. How strained are you financially, and how prepared do you think we will be when it comes to the Games proper, by the time we reach the Games proper? The
good news that I want to give to Ugandans is that we mitigated that there would be a financial challenge. And for sure, we planned for that. That's why you see we had, for the very first time, we had a league running for more or longer months. We actually had a league that ran for 7 months. Yes, 7 months. So we were trying to gap up, because having a league for, let's say, few months and girls are seated, there is no activity going on, it was going to be a challenge. Though that is going to be we no longer want a league of 2 months, 3 months. I don't consider that a league. To me, it's more of a gala. So we are going to be, we had a longer league. Then after a league, immediately, our plan was the East Africa Club Championships. You've seen how our girls played and performed well. And immediately after that, we are now going for the inter-regional competitions, where we are going to visit a region. Let's say we go to Mbale, we invite all the teams in that region. They play in different courts as are they called the scouts? Where scouts will be identifying different talents to participate or to be brought on different teams, national teams, but also our girls with the national team and the male national team will be also competing. They'll be playing each other.
What's the agenda of these regional tours?
One is to take the game back to the people, to popularize the game. I feel someone from Mbale or Mbarara or Kabale, whatever, should be knowing that this is the squad for the She-Cranes. This is the squad for the male team. Because this is their team. It is their national team. That is one. But also to identify talents of those girls and boys who are good and they are great netballers and they have a future in the game. They are young, yes, but they have the right heights, they have the right speed. Maybe they may not be good as the national team, but can we polish them out and they join the team? Because people have been complaining that the national team is from Kampala. It is a Kampala Mukono Wachiso business.
That's on every national team. Even the Uganda Cranes, there are regions that complain that their players are not somewhat. So, Honorable, yes. You just earlier on you talked about how you met these kids who had come to play at Old Kampala, and some of them you found them in the boardroom actually sucking their fingers, and there are people who watched them play on court and they almost shed tears because they couldn't believe what they are seeing. Nurdin Hassan here has sent me a YouTube link. I'm sending it to our producer. If possible, maybe we could have it played here. And I'm looking at these babies going through their netball drills. I wish we could have it so that the viewers can see. It's so emotional because when you said it, how you're looking at all these young girls and boys, and they knew the rules, they knew the basics of the sport. Probably also reveals how important it is to always start them when they were young. But back to the topic, as we'll probably wait for that video. The regional tours, of course, to take the team and the sport closer to the people.
But also to keep the girls fit. Because one thing you need to know is that men are more vigilant, they are strong, they are this and that. So they give them better training, better. Actually, for me to take a national team, let's say to a country that we are better ranked of, we'd rather have our male national team, give them a training. Okay. And another challenge is that we don't have money. We cannot afford to go to better ranked countries, because now the better ranked countries, these are South Africa, this is Jamaica, this is Australia, this is England, those now 5 best countries ahead of us. So it is costly, and we cannot have, right now we haven't received any money to do that. We had planned for those friendlies, yes, but we've not been lucky enough to be considered. And we haven't received even money for the training, for the preparation of the Commonwealth Games. We haven't received, yet it is just 1 month to the Games. The Games are in July. This is end of May, meaning we are having 1 month of June to make sure we do whatever we are doing. So that's why we agreed that let us go to the regions, take all the cream of the She-Cranes, then the next team in the queue for the girls, and the males team. So they compete and let people watch. Let the regional fans watch this, and they will be motivated also to subscribe with our local clubs. I'll give you an example. Nick is a great team, and I've had people saying they have won East Africa for the 18th time. But how many fans do they have? How many are they registered with NIC? So should we take this, should we celebrate teams after winning trophies? Or we should even stand with them in the process of training, doing everything. So I think it's important if we call upon the corporate world, these banks, the factories we have, the investors we have here. Let us support netball. Let us come up with those teams. Let every organization have a team. Even CTV here, you could choose to have a team in the league in the second division.
We shall come for the corporate Ghana.
Yes. So you come and participate. It is really, really important. By doing that, believe me, if if God could bless us and we achieve what we are planning, in 2 years' time, you'll see a very, very big difference and change.
Well, not trying to punch above our weight, but what would be the ultimate objective for the She Cranes at the Commonwealth Games later this year in Birmingham?
Of course, every country would work towards winning. And our major objective is to become the #1 netballing country in the world. But simply because I've told you of all those challenges and everything, my humble prayer to God is to be ranked or to participate among the best 4 teams. If I achieve that, I'll come back and go to my church and thank my God.
How achievable is it?
It is very much achievable. It is very much achievable because when you look at these teams, when I look at South Africa, I think if we gave them stress last time without peace and Nuba, if we have them on board, believe me, it will be a tough game. We can win them. And Malawi, we've won them, and we are working hard for them not to get anywhere closer to us. Of course, I know they are also working, but these are our targets, and this is what we are working for, and it's our prayer to God. And England we can handle. I believe we can. If we did the right things, of course, that's why I was telling you. By the way, we also have a lot to do with discipline, but we are working on that. Sometimes our girls, somehow they
misbehave, like all sports people.
Yes. So if we did that, if we sorted the indisciplines and we train our girls, we feed them well, we motivate them, we make them feel they are out there to make Uganda shine. We have talents, believe me.
That's the video I was talking about. I don't know where that academy is, but that's a netball academy somewhere in Uganda. And look at the height of those young boys and girls. Look at that one. Jesus. So that's your dream, to have players start play the game of netball from at least that age?
Yes, and we award them, we organize them, we assure the best shooter of the year under 5 is so and so. The best defender of the year under 5 is so and so. Under 6, like that. At least by the time anyone or any scout needs anybody of that age group, you'll be able to say, you'll just look into your computer, in your database, you say, what age, what height, what do you want?
Yes, I'm told actually.
We went to Arua and we hosted the street netball, the first of its kind. And we invited children from the streets to come and play. Guess what? 13 girls were given full-time bursaries. Some were taken by the school of Honorable Babiri Kavanda, that Masaka school. Others are in Chitende, others are in Budo. Different schools took different girls. So what if we had a number of them? What if we had street netball in all the cities? This could be a solution for even street children.
Well, I'm told the academy is called HK Netball Hub Academy. It is based in Mukono. It is a Mukono-based academy, and it is run by Noldin Hassan Kato, who is one of the coaches at KCCA Netball
Even
Club.
a national team, the boys team.
Okay, when you hear us speaking and some of our dreams, it makes me think that probably we don't deserve as a president, but hopefully your dreams come to life. But then you mentioned something that saddened me to some extent, because we have only a couple of months to the Commonwealth, maybe one, just over one, and you say that you have not received any funding.
Not even a penny.
How worried should we be about our performance at the Netball World Cup? Because definitely the She Cranes have been the sort of the poster boy of netball in the country, and we are starting to anticipate that are going to be performing well. But when you reach at this point in time and the funding is not yet there, how worried should the Ugandan be ahead of the Commonwealth?
I may not be able to say, get worried. I may not measure the level. Yeah, but this is what I want to promise to Ugandans. Whether there is funds or not, Uganda Netball Federation and the Uganda Netball Fraternity, we are ready to do all it takes to make sure Ugandans smile and to bring joy to Uganda, and victory, to make sure that our flag fly high. We've gone through a lot. We may not say everything here, but I know the Ministry of Sports, we've talked to them. They have been even sharing some of the documentation. The other week I was following Parliament talking about giving us funds very soon. Our humble prayer to God is that funds should be available very soon, such that we are able to go into a camp. That's why we think we shouldn't sit and wait for that money. For us, we are in high gear. The national coach today summoned the players to come on Sunday.
Start training.
Start training. And for us, we are ready. Money will find us there. We are ready to move around. We shall, of course, we have a great body of the Board of Trustees, led by the Right Honorable Margaret Zwa Snantongo, the former Speaker of Yala. We have Honorable Jalia Bintu. We have Madam Eva Magala, the past president of Golf Union. We have Mr. Semgoma, Godfrey. All these guys, you can't believe it. They sit almost on daily basis to plan for the She Cranes and Commonwealth Games. We are going to do all it takes. Our executive is willing. People travel, they sponsor themselves, they use their own funds. We sit in meetings, we plan with the coaches, they do all this job without sometimes even giving them any penny. But just like I told you, for us we are determined. We are beginning, and my humble request to Ugandans is please support us. This is the very reason why we need our own home. If we had a facility, and it was a matter of summoning girls to the camp, we have beddings, we have rooms, we have meals, we have our own restaurant, and it would be easier. There would be no stress. You just look for a few logistics to run around. But now going to a camp when you don't have a home, it is tricky. And these are girls, you can't just risk taking them anywhere without funds. You must be strict, and you must make sure people's daughters are safe and in safe hands.
Well, of course, I should say the countries are behind the sports to make sure that everything goes according to plan. Should have been a few weeks ago, we had the General Secretary of National Council of Sports, Bernard Ogel, and one of the questions we asked him was the funding for the Commonwealth Games. And he said the government had approved, but much as money is yet to get to them. But Honorable, as we get out of here, I'm told we have 0 seconds left, but maybe if you could just give us a clue, because I know that big announcement was supposed to be this week. It was postponed to next week. Just give us a clue. This big announcement is attached to what?
Now that will not.
Is it attached to the league? Is it attached to the national team? What is it attached to?
That it is attached to the national team.
To the national team.
Yeah.
Okay, we hope everything goes according to plan. There she is. Yes, Honorable Sarah Babide Chitio, the president of the Uganda Netball Federation, trying to put a number of things in perspective. Clive Chaze is my name. I've been in good company of Shaban, but also a big thank you to Gerard, Robert, Dennis, and Lovey in the control room who have tried to make sure that today's show is a success. We'll be back tomorrow with Sports Dish and the Fun Friday edition. Have a blessed day.